or what have you. So if you want to go ahead and get started, we can. Yet again, we definitely like the fact that you are always willing to come in each week and share what's going on with MoveQuest and kind of keep everybody abreast. And I know this weekend we launched the new Hatchery, and I know we have a lot of people that have some questions about how to maneuver and best practices and things of that nature. So in your infinite wisdom, we're going to give you the floor to be able to share whatever it is that you can share with us this evening in reference to that, so that as a community, we can keep growing and building and moving forward accordingly. So with that being
Yep,
said, Ms.
absolutely.
Lynette, you go right ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to start out first and tell everybody right up front. It was not mandatory to cancel in the old hatchery. Here's the deal. A lot of people have got a lot of MoveQuest in that hatchery, and they want that MoveQuest so they can stake it in the rewards tier 4 hatchery. If you don't plan on staking in the rewards tier 4 hatchery, let your incubation period run out, because it doesn't serve you any purpose to cancel that hatchery. If you cancel it and you're not coming into the tier 4, you're not going to get those miners. So please just understand that this wasn't mandatory. This was done because there's a lot of MoveQuest in that contract, and that's a lot of MoveQuest that people can be earning from those staking rewards. So hopefully everybody understands that. If you're, if somebody missed tonight's update, please, 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 please give them the accurate information. For some reason, a lot of people think it's mandatory. No, it's not mandatory. We've already paused that contract. Nobody can add any more to it. They're just running out. But if you want that MoveQuest out of there so you can stake it in the tier 4 rewards hatchery, cancel if you've got a lot of days left, because I'm going to start working on those tomorrow. If you don't want to wait on getting those miners, then don't cancel it until, well, if you haven't canceled it by now anyway, it's too late. So I would just let it run out unless you guys squeeze it in there real quick before this Zoom is over. Because once I'm done with this presentation, that is absolutely what I'm going to do. And whoever hasn't canceled to stake into the new tier 4, I'm done looking at the contracts. So I can't spend lots of days on this. It takes too long. So hopefully that explains that everybody understands it. Now what I want to do is explain this hatchery, because there seems to be some confusion around it, of exactly how it works. And I want everybody to understand this is very, very powerful. I was telling some of our core team earlier, I'm like, I can't believe people are not rushing to get in to that hatchery, because I mean, it's a really big deal. So let me share my screen. I'm not going to turn on my video because it just gets in the way when I'm screen sharing. You guys all know what I look like, right? Okay, so we're going to base it off, and I'm going to make this calculator. It might be a little bit easier for you guys. It's hard for people to understand what I'm doing. You don't change any values in this calculator unless they're highlighted in blue. Okay, those are the only cells that you want to change. The first thing that this spreadsheet is doing is it wants you to put in the current MoveQuest market value, which is $8.63. Then we're leaving this. I want you guys to look at this as if the market value never went up. One thing that's really important to understand right now with the liquidity pool and the way the tokenomics are, this hatchery has changed the algorithm just a tad, as far as how the liquidity injection comes into play. It is really focused, that algorithm now, based on the number of MoveQuest that's in the hatchery, of getting that pool to the fluid mark and then really starting to pound in that liquidity. And so because of the hatchery and making sure that the market value is there when you claim those rewards, it's going to be heavy liquidity injection. So the market value of this token, if it increases, it is completely driven by the community. The project itself, right, for the liquidity, It's already got almost 300,000 MoveQuest tokens right now. So when we added the Hatchery Tier 4 rewards calculator, this is one of the issues, okay, with the MoveQuest in the reserve smart contract, is that there's no way for you guys to really see what's there, what that market value could be and what that liquidity needs to be. This hatchery changes the whole thing as far as how you can see what you're gaining. And I actually love it because as soon as we added in the hatchery, the algorithm shifts because it's looking for how many of these tokens are in the hatchery, what's that market value of all those tokens that are being rewarded in that hatchery in 222 days? What's that liquidity need to be at? And that algorithm is focused on that. Now, as the community is growing, that is what drives up the market value. The more tokens of the MoveQuest tokens that are in the hatchery, the faster you're going to see that market value turn around and go back up. So when you're looking at the hatchery, always focus on, okay, what if the market value never went up? What if it just always, forever and ever and ever stays at $8.63? First of all, look at it that way. Then everybody's got an idea of what your magic number is to hold. And so you would put that in here for yourself. And I'm going to have the developers program this into the website or at least a portion of it so you guys can kind of calculate there, but don't plan on that happening in a couple of weeks. You're going to have to rely on my spreadsheet. You're staking in the tier 4 for 222 days. It doesn't matter if you started on Sunday when it went live or if you start next Sunday. Those tokens are locked for 222 days and you're staking for 222 days. When your incubation period is over, you'll claim all of your rewards back and then you can restake them. This is an unlimited hatchery, so there's no limit to it. There is no race to get there because there may not be space. It doesn't work that way at all. And on the tier 4 rewards hatchery, there is a 15% AVAX fee. Now we're going to move up to the second section of this calculator. This is the Navigator, Trailblazer, Explorer, and Vanguard. Okay, you can never get a Titan except to go to the evolution and evolve it and merge it to that Titan. And it takes 2 Vanguards. What this is giving you is the full price of these miners if you were to mint them and evolve them. So if you wanted a Navigator, you're going to spend $50 to mint that Navigator. And if you want to evolve it to a Trailblazer, it's going to cost you an additional $50. You don't keep the Navigator. Okay, the Navigator is retired. And now you have a Trailblazer that costs you the trade-in of a Navigator plus $50. Now your Trailblazer is 100. Then if you wanted an Explorer, you would have to evolve it. To evolve it, you're trading in a Navigator and a Trailblazer, plus you're paying an additional evolution fee of $50. So now you've got $150 into one miner, which is now an upgraded Explorer. The Vanguards, and I'm going to put this just to 1 so you can see. By the time you've traded in the Navigator, the Trailblazer, the Explorer, and paid the $75 evolution fee, each Vanguard is $225. Then, if you want a Titan, you have to have 2 Vanguards to merge to 1 Titan. So I'm going to put this at 2 so you guys can see here. So now you've got $450 for 2 Vanguards. Then once you get those Vanguards, you get all your miners instantly. You can go to the evolution and you can upgrade that miner and it's $350 to merge it to a Titan. So it's $800 per Titan. So I want you guys to understand something here. There's no discount in the hatchery when we're talking about the price. So what this is letting you know is that when you select your miners, so you're going to put in here how many you want for the Vanguard, or I mean for the hatchery tier 4. So let's say I want to do 16 Vanguards as an example. this is what it would cost me if I was evolving these vanguards. And so that is the amount that you have to deposit into the hatchery. You have to deposit what it would cost you to actually go and evolve up to 16 vanguards. So the amount, the dollar value, taking the MoveQuest current market value at $8.63, it's telling you you're going to have to deposit 417.1495 MoveQuest tokens. That equals $3,600. Then you're going to pay a hatchery fee of $540. In 222 days, when this contract unlocks, you get all of this back. So essentially, you got 16 Vanguards for $540. Why do we do that? We're rewarding you for locking up those tokens for 222 days. It's pulling them out of circulation. And we know that for 222 days, 417 MoveQuest tokens are not going to be sold. And so it's rewarding you for not selling by giving you back all of those MoveQuest tokens. You do not get the AVAX back. Now moving down here, every single MoveQuest that you deposit into the hatchery earns a daily reward of 0.001846. It doesn't matter if you're mining with a Navigator, a Trailblazer, an Explorer, or a Vanguard, or Titans. It doesn't matter. Every single MoveQuest is going to earn 0.001846 per MoveQuest that you deposited for any of those miners. So that 417 MoveQuest that you deposited is earning a daily reward of 0.7701 MoveQuest tokens. At the end of your 222 days, your MoveQuest reward is 170 MoveQuest tokens, almost 171 MoveQuest tokens. Again, it doesn't matter how much physical activity you did. It doesn't matter what level of miner you're mining with. All that matters is that you submitted your proof of physical activity that day. Somebody who's outside of our community, outside of our ecosystem, they cannot utilize the hatchery. Why? Because they're not contributing to the market value of the token. They're not mining, they're not submitting, they're not engaged in the ecosystem, they're not contributing to the liquidity. Therefore, they do not get the MoveQuest rewards. So if you miss a day of submitting, you will not get that day's rewards either. You have to submit in order to qualify for the hatchery tier 4 rewards. So at the current market value, when you unlock, or when your 222 days is up and the hatchery unlocks for you, your 170 MoveQuest tokens, if the market value never goes up, okay, if it stays at $8.63 in that 222 days, we'll have a market value of $1,475 based on today's current market value. Now, if it reaches your total market value of $50, those 170 MoveQuest tokens are going to have a value of $8,547. And if it reaches that $50, it's because the community has grown in size. Okay, the evolution portion of the algorithm isn't going to drive that market value up for the community. It's the community growth that's going to drive it up. That way, as the community is growing, the more people in the community, the more liquidity. Okay. Every time somebody joins our community, they are engaged in the ecosystem. So if that market value is going up, it's got liquidity coming in to support it through the engagement of the ecosystem. Now you don't, because a lot of people wait to see when the evolution is going to drive up the market value. And that's not the evolution's focus until it needs more MoveQuest. It's already absorbed 300,000 MoveQuest tokens, actually almost 320,000 MoveQuest tokens that the community has sold. Because you got to remember, the project can't sell MoveQuest. It can buy it, but it cannot sell it. And so it's got this really, fat bank full of MoveQuest tokens. So now it's the community's job to drive up the market value of the token. If you want to see the market value go up, then that selling pressure has to come down. when you lock up those MoveQuest tokens into the tier 4 hatchery, any of the tiers, but the only one that gets the rewards is the tier 4. Okay, because it gives the project that 222 days once they're locked to make sure that liquidity is there based on your 220 days of submissions. You're contributing every single day to the ecosystem for those MoveQuest tokens that are coming to you through the rewards. So it changed it up a bit. There is no more reserve MoveQuest tokens in a reserve contract matching everybody's mining rewards. That ended on February 1st. Now, if you want those mining rewards, you need to be in that tier 4 hatchery. It's rewarding those who are holding to ensure that this ecosystem is strong, that there isn't the overselling before the demand is there. It decreases the selling pressure. So think about it like this. Your sellers are getting instant value and reward right now, but our holders are getting their reward in 222 days. They're going to get all their MoveQuest back, plus they're going to get the hatchery rewards. And that's your reward for holding those tokens while we're building the community. This is a baby still. It was listed on August 1st. And our liquidity pool has done amazing. The market value is amazing. It's got the best market value of any move to earn project in the crypto space. MoveQuest tops them all. We may not have 50, 60, or $100 million in our liquidity pool, but we're only 25% away from being having that fully diluted pool, which is amazing. The FDV is almost there. We're only 25% away from being fluid. We only need like 3.2 million in that pool for everybody who's holding tokens to be able to sell them and convert them at the market value we're at currently. That's amazing. So we are a very strong project, and this project's market value on that token, there's so much utility. There's so much use for this token in our ecosystem. This token should have already been at 200 and some dollars if our rebrand was done. We know that's a part of it, right? But once that rebrand comes out and the community gets back to sharing this project, getting those rewards in the tier 4 hatchery, and the demand starts coming in for that token, you'll start to see it move back up over that $100 mark, that $200 mark. But let's just say it never does. Only stays at $8.63. This is still what the market value is when your reward tokens release. Now, I'm going to talk about the leasing feature that's coming out here. Any day, okay? Anytime between now and the 15th of February is when it's estimated to be completed. This hatchery took a long time. I threw this into the mix. I'm always doing this to our poor development team, and they are so good to me, even when I'm sure they don't want to be. But this was a very important feature. We needed to really enhance the hatchery. And so I watch things. I watch trends and what behaviors people have with it. People love the hatchery. Who wouldn't? And so we just made this hatchery even sweeter. All right. Now we're going to talk about those of you who are already mining. You've got your Titans. And I've had people ask me this, well, what if I don't want the miners? Why wouldn't you want the miners? They don't cost you anything by the time this is all done. And this is those extra miners that now you have leasing inventory. Now I'm just basing the leasing fee at 25 cents per day. Okay, so and you'll change this because some people, even though you have the 16 vanguards here, it doesn't mean that you don't have 100 miners sitting somewhere else. Okay, so I'm just gonna make it like it's the 16 that you've already got your mining docks full. You're already mining with however many miner rigs you want or docks that you want. And we're just going to say that this is 16 vanguards. Okay, now what it's telling you is that at the current market value, there's not, like I said, I'm low. I'm basing this very low. You guys can change this fee to anything you want. It's a cell that's highlighted in blue. Maybe you want 50 cents a day. Maybe you don't want anything a day. Maybe you just have friends and family and you're just going to let them use your miners. Whatever it is that you decide, you can change that field. I've just got it set at 25 cents per day per miner. And so it's a daily leasing profit to you of $4, and it's a yearly leasing profit to you of $1,460. And that's based on the current market value here. These are your rewards that you're getting. And then this is at your hodl value, which I'll probably take these out because this kind of gets confusing. But before I do, I was just bringing these values down so they carried, so you didn't have to come up here and look. So this is giving you what you could get on the leasing. Now, if the market value is increasing, I am basing it off of this fee. Okay, so let's just say we change it to $100. You'll see here that the leasing fee changed to $2.90 per miner. Okay, because now when people are using your miners to mine, the market value is $50 or $100 or $200. Of course, you're going to charge more. And for those of you who really see what this project holds for you in the future, you've got to really start focusing on sharing all these pieces about this project, because this is a life-changing project for people, and really start driving up that market value. Because those of you who are here for the long, you see that long vision of what this project is doing, you're the ones that are holding those tokens. I mean, you guys have big plans for those MoveQuest bags that you're holding of tokens. The higher that market value goes up, the more you're going to charge per day per miner. So now I've got 16 miners. Market value is $100. So I'm getting $2.90 per miner. So I'm making $46 a day. But yearly, it's giving me an income of $16,917 a year on my rental fees on my digital asset. Okay, you get paid your rental fee up front. And the person who is mining with your miner, they're leasing, they pay you up front, but then they pay the submission and they pay the claim fees. They get all the tokens. You don't get a percentage of their tokens. Just again, it's another way to make sure we stay very good on regulation side of things. You're not making a percentage of the work they're doing. They're getting everything for the work they do. You're charging them a leasing fee, a rental fee to use your digital real estate. These are your digital assets. Now, the hatchery is a great way to get these. Why? Because yeah, it locks up your MoveQuest for 222 days, but you get it all back. And so essentially those miners didn't cost you anything except time, but you get them immediately so they can get to work for you right away. So you get the assets up front. The MoveQuest is held, so you're still able to make money once that leasing starts on all of those miners. All right, now we're going to bump down to, let me put this back to the 50 because I want to make it realistic for people so they don't think I'm off my rocker. Now we're going to look at the miner's value, the deposit value. Basically, what is the value you're getting out of the hatchery? Well, you got $3,600 in free Vanguards. Didn't cost you nothing. It's just a deposit. It's like putting in the bank. And in 222 days, you're going to draw that MoveQuest that you deposited back out. That's a value to you of $3,600 in the hatchery if you got 16 Vanguards. Then you've got the deposit, the MoveQuest. So you got $3,600 worth of Vanguards, plus you're getting your $3,600 worth of MoveQuest back. Plus you got your rewards, which at the current market value is $1,475. Plus you've got miners that you can now lease. I'm giving you the full potential of what this hatchery can create for you in profit. It's going to cost you $540 in AVAX for that hatchery fee. And so your total gains is $9,595. That's 1,777%. That's great. That's your APR for the year. For 222 days, it's not even a year, it's just 222 days. Now, if it reaches your hodl value within the 222 days, it's still only $3,600 in miner value. But now that MoveQuest that you deposited, it's no longer got a deposit value of $3,600. It's now got a market value of $20,857. and the rewards that you received, they're not worth $1,400. They're worth $8,500. And then your leasing profit, it went up because the market value of the token went up. So your leasing profit wasn't 1,400, but 8,400 at the total market value that you chose. Your total cost was still $540. Now you've got total gains of $40,923, and all you have in it is $540. That's it. Now you're looking at an APR of 7,579%, or yeah, 79%, but only for 222 days. Okay, now I want to go down and talk about your proof of physical activity. A lot of people feel like at the current market value, if they only walk 1,000 steps a day, is it really worth it to them to mine? Well, if you don't think it is, then jump into the hatchery because now you're going to get your mining rewards, plus you're going to get the hatchery rewards. This is just based on 20,000 steps because it gets too complex when I start putting in everything, and I really am trying to stay away from confusing people. So let's just say you do 1,000 steps a day and that's it. Okay, you are going to be mining about a total of, let's see, I set in here, what kind of miners did I say I had? Okay, I'm saying I'm mining with 2 navigators, 2 trailblazers, 2 explorers, 2 vanguards, and 2 titans. Now, some of you have multiple accounts, so this is why I went ahead and did this with 10. Some people are mining with 4 watches. It caught me off guard, but I went and met one of our builders in the community, Nick Nesbitt, here in Scottsdale. And I'm sitting there, we're talking, and all of a sudden I look down and I see 2 fitness trackers on his roof. So I'm like, oh my God. I see him when you guys are in like Zooms or doing videos or something, but I've never actually seen it. And he's like, oh yeah, it's a great talking piece. And so you can have more, you can use more than one fitness tracker. You have to have different wallet addresses, whatever. This is just additional mining accounts. So, but each account can only have 8 miners in it, each deck. So this is 10 miners. And what it's telling you is that I'm going to be mining this per day per miner. And I've got 2 of each. So when I come down here, I'm only doing 1,000 steps a day. I don't have all Titans. Basically, I'm getting about 0.04 MoveQuest. Do you see if you're in the hatchery and you went and did the 16 vanguards or whatever? Let me do it this way. We'll put all these up here as 2s when I get done, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like, the difference. But you're getting the 0.04 daily MoveQuest. This is your submission fees, okay, per miner. And I want everybody to understand too, when the market value goes up, so do the submission fees. So they do this, these are not set. So it's not going to forever and forever and forever be 7 cents per navigator, 53 cents per Titan, because as the market value goes up, so do the submission fees because it has to provide that liquidity. So I don't want anybody to be surprised because you guys all know I've been saying this. But this is the market, based on the market value, these are the daily submission fees current right now. So if you're mining with 2 of each, you're paying about $2.38 a day. Over the next 222 days, you're going to mine 8.8 MoveQuest. Now we're going to come down here and so for a year, this is 222 days. Sorry, this should be a number, but I'll fix it when I'm done. Actually, I'll just go like this. There we go. All right, that'll drive me nuts if I missed it. So for 222 days, this is what you would pay in submission fees. And this is doing 1,000 steps. Now let me put this up there to what most people, the average person, because I see, what the submission fees and all that is, but let's just do it at 50%. Let's just say 10,000 steps. Okay, now you're looking at, you're mining 0.4 MoveQuest per day. And that's 88 MoveQuest in that 222 days. So up here, remember, when you staked, you're getting 170 in the hatchery. You have to submit every day to get those ones in the hatchery. Your mining is at 88. You're not maxing out every day. That hatchery is a great way for you to make up for that until you are able to beef up your physical fitness. We have a lot of healthy people in MoveQuest. Now, if you are maxing out every day, you are mining about 0.8. $2.38. The submission fees didn't change. And now you're about equal to what you're getting in the hatchery. But so here's 170 in the hatchery, 177 here. Just showing you guys how this works when you use the calculator. Okay, let's move down. Let's take the mind move quest that you're getting every day from your proof of physical activity. That's the market value right there at the current market value. Your hatchery reward move quest. This is based on maxing out your physical activity of 20,000 steps. Your hatchery rewards based on the $8 and whatever it is, 63 cents. Your leasing profit based on today's market value. Your free vanguards that you got for mining or for going into the 4-tier hatchery. Plus you get all that move quest back and the market value, everything's the same as it was today in 222 days. All said and done, you're going to pay $528 in submission fees. Your hatchery fees were $540. So you have $1,068 into the next 222 days. You're making $10,600 in profit. You're averaging $47.75 a day by being in the hatchery. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say 0. Just to give you an idea of the difference when we come down here. The current mining difficulty, if you weren't in the hatchery, this is what you would make over the next 222 days. That's nothing to sneeze at. There's nobody else that's going to reward you with tokens and pay you $11.11 every single day just to become healthy. We're not paying you. We're rewarding you with a token. I don't know if you guys missed the AMA on Twitter last week or not, but Brandon and Kwame and Hayden, you guys did an amazing job. Brandon, I absolutely love the way you explained the blockchain. I've been working on coming up with what is an easy way to explain it. And I was actually like using a box with chains and all sort of stuff. That was perfect. And then Hayden, you just kind of gave it that radio announcer, kind of I don't know. It just sounded really good. It sounded like you were on a radio, hosting a radio show or a podcast. And then Kwame, you just give everybody that reassurance of, you come in, you explain things in ways that Brandon doesn't explain it. Brandon explained things in ways you didn't. It was great. It was just great. You guys shouldn't miss those. They're really good. But you're getting rewarded to become healthy, to live a more fit, active lifestyle, to become the healthiest version of yourself. And you're mining tokens with your proof of physical activity. You're already doing this every day anyway. And it's all decentralized. It's all on chain. So we're not storing that data. But Google and Facebook and everybody else, they're getting that data. Apple Health's getting it. Android's getting it. They're getting it. They're storing it. They're saving it. They're selling it. They're sharing it. We don't. This is where you get to make money by being physically fit and healthy, motivating you. It's incentivizing you to leave that sedentary lifestyle behind. Get up on the top of every hour for 10 or 15 minutes and walk in place. Nobody says you have to go outside and, run a 10-mile marathon. You just have to move more. To me, that's great. $11.11 to do what I'm already doing every single day. And this is after my fees. This is after my cost. And you guys are, a lot of people they sell their MoveQuest to cover their fees. I'm not going to give you financial advice, but imagine if you didn't do that. You would have more MoveQuest at the end of 222 days. This is not very expensive, okay? And this is, that to me, it's just not. I mean, you guys need to hoard that MoveQuest. That's, if you can. I'm just telling you that would be, you won't be disappointed in the future. This project is just way too solid. I don't know if a project can ever be way too solid, but it's the most solid project that I am aware of if it's not a blockchain. All right, here I go. So you guys, I'm one of these ramblers. I ramble on and on. All right, we did the 16 vanguards. Let me come back down here. Okay. So if you add the 16, whatever, I'll give some, you guys can use this, do any other, whatever you want to do, calculation wise, but that it does change it. It gives you so much more market value and reward for that physical activity that you're already going to submit for anyway. Plus, This ensures that you're engaged in the ecosystem because you know that if you don't submit that day, it's another checks and balance. It's another way to keep yourself motivated because you already know if you lock those tokens up for 222 days, every single day, you got to submit that proof of physical activity. So you're going to have to move and move more, right? Because you want, for the submission fees and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you're getting your value. Now, if it goes to your HODL value of $50 right here, now that Mind Move Quest that you're getting every day, here you see it was $1,500 worth. Now it's worth 8,800. Your Hatchery rewards are worth 8,500. Your leasing profit went up because the market value of the token went up. And so that's 8,400. Your Hatchery miner value stayed the same. It's $3,600 worth of Vanguards that you got at no cost. Plus that MoveQuest that you had to deposit, which at the time you deposited it when it was $8 and something, had a market value of 3,600, but now has a market value of 20,857. Your submission fees are still the same. Your hatchery fees were still the same. That didn't change. But now instead of profit at 10,600, because we already deducted the fees out of here, costs, you've now got a profit of $49,281 in that 222 days. Now your daily average to become the healthiest version of yourself is no longer $47, but it is now $221 every single day. $222 if you round it up from that penny. So the hatchery is a very powerful way for you to stake and get your miners. Yes, it's a 222-day lockup, but trust me, it's worth it. You got all those miners at no cost. You got all that MoveQuest back, plus you're getting those hatchery rewards. This is a great way for new people to get started. Yes, again, they have to lock up the MoveQuest, but the rewards are definitely worth it. They get this back. By the time they get it back, it's going to be worth more. That token isn't going to sit at $8.63. There's no way it can. We're only 25% away from being fluid. Okay, it's just an impossibility. It can only it can only go up. And even if it goes down, I don't care because then it's really going to be fluid. And once it's fluid, it can only go up. Okay, you can't keep going down. Yes, there's 2,500 MoveQuest tokens that go into circulation every day. And so it does drop it a little bit. But what I'm hoping is that people really see the value in this hatchery and you'll start staking them in that hatchery so you can mine more MoveQuest. I want to create as many millionaires in this project as I possibly can. So those of you who are doing the right moves, you'll get there faster than somebody who's just selling every single day. And like I said, everybody's situation is different. They have to do whatever they want to do. Let's put this in at like for me, okay, I've got 43 Vanguards. That's what I've been able to stake so far. And this is what it cost me. I had to deposit $9,675 worth of MoveQuest, 1121. My fees actually, when I got started in the hatchery, the market value was actually higher. It was like $9 and I think, no, it might have been 8. Let me see if it was 8.90 because my fees were 14, right about there. Yeah, right about 14.51. Yep, that's about accurate. Okay. Hatchery fee, my MoveQuest. Yep, that's real close. Okay. So I like coming down here. I'm not selling at $50. My golden number is actually at 1,500 because I know what this project's gonna do. That's just my personal hodl. Okay, I don't get in 20,000 steps a day. I try my hardest. I average about 11,000 a day. And so for me, utilizing the hatchery, I would be making about $106 a day. You see, my mining rewards aren't real high, but by utilizing the hatchery, even at just today's market value, I'm still able to profit $23,665. Now, if I reach my goal of the market value before I sell any MoveQuest of being 1,500, that's $2,699,000. Okay, I'm paying myself $12,158 a day to become the healthiest version of myself. That's all I got.
Well, that's a lot. But no, that I can definitely see how everybody in the community that's in position to leverage the hatchery at this point.
Oh, let
Um,
me show you guys something. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no problem.
Real quick. I want to show somebody who just, let's just do one. Okay, let's just do one of, and let me put this back down to 0. If somebody, because a lot of people, it's whatever your situation is. Let's just say you can only do one navigator at a time, and it's a $7.50 fee. Because I don't like to create, okay, you guys gotta understand something. I think big, and that's why I achieve big. And I've always been this way all my life since I was probably 10 years old. I always wanted these grand things. And my dad used to tell me this all the time. You are such a dreamer. Why don't you just go get a nice job, be a secretary, and raise a family, get married and raise a family? And I thought, oh God, that just sounds absolutely horrid. Like, are you nuts? So I've always thought way bigger than most people thought that I should. But if you want to achieve big, you got to think big, right? So anyway, and I'm not saying that if you can only start with $50, I'm just saying, you guys, I'm not trying to I'm not a hypey person. It's just my personality. I can't help it. So let's say you're starting out with one navigator, $50, and it's going to cost you a deposit of 5.61 MoveQuest and a hatchery fee of $7.50. What does that look like for you? And let's just say you don't have any. Okay, that's just all you're going to mine with. Is it worth it? Well, let's put in miners leasing. Okay, no miners to lease. Okay, your current market value of the token. There's the daily rewards. That's your deposit. That's your daily reward, 0.0104 MoveQuest. That means at the end of 222 days, you're going to earn 2.3 MoveQuest. The current market value, that's $20.49. You more than doubled your money. And you're mining every day with one navigator. And if it reaches the hodl price of $50, it's $115 that you've made. And you've only spent $7.50 because you get the $50 back in the MoveQuest. You don't have anything that you're leasing. This is your miner value. Okay, you got a $50 miner. Your deposit value is 50. Your reward for your MoveQuest was $20.49. There's no leasing because you don't have any extra miners. Cost, gains. Okay, that's still 1,507% over 222 days. Now let's come down here and let's say that you are maxing out. Okay, let's just see what it would do at max. Because if you're only mining with one navigator, you need to really push yourself to max out so that you can get as much of the rewards as possible. And we're going to say you only got one navigator. So let's bump this down to 0, 0, 0, and 0. All right. So you're mining 0.0227 per day. It's going to cost you 7 cents a day. And over the next 222 days, you're going to mine 5 MoveQuest tokens. Your total submission fees are $15.54. So you've now got MoveQuest that you mined at $44.76 at today's market value. Your hatchery rewards, your miner value, the deposit of your MoveQuest back. Okay, that's minus your fees of $23.04 over 222 days. You are in profit of $142.21. Okay, that may not seem like a lot to you right now today, but if you did this, let's say it took, I don't know, a year to get to $1,500. I just want to show you. Let's say your total amount is $1,500. That MoveQuest that you made, those 5 little MoveQuests that don't seem like a whole lot to you right now, but if you never sold them and you held on to them until it hit that total price of $1,500, you've now made a total profit of $19,451 on 64 cents, mining MoveQuest on a daily basis. It's only got a market value of 64 cents. Is it worth it to you? Maybe it takes a year for you to get there. Would you spend $7.50 and $15 in submission fees total of $23.04. And let's say you only mined for 222 days, but you held those tokens until it got to 1,500. That's a $20,000 payday for you. You're paying yourself $87.62 in the future. You're putting in the work now. Look at it like this. Weight Watchers doesn't pay you to buy their meals. They don't reward you with a mining token, nor does Jenny Craig, nor does Ozempic, nor does Planet Fitness. Okay. You're being rewarded to be the healthier version of yourself. And if you hold that MoveQuest, trust me, that's worth it. All right, now I'm really done.
That's wonderful. You know what? I like the example that you just gave because it kind of breaks it down for the average person to really, really wrap their head around the true value proposition that the hatchery does provide. So I definitely thank you for that. A couple of things just in answering questions in the chat. I want to make sure I know you've already covered this. I'm just going to ask you if you can do it one more time for complete community clarity, if you will. I know that the old hatchery, you mentioned at the beginning of the call that individuals would need to go ahead and cancel during this call and enter into the new hatchery because today is going to be the last day that you're going to, because it's a manual process and you have to physically go in and do all of that stuff on the blockchain or what have you. But after
Yep.
this call, that will no longer be available. Is that correct?
For the amount of time it takes me to go make another pot of coffee, because I'm going to be up half of the night doing this, I would say as long as everybody has it done within the next 45 minutes, you're safe, because then I'll be back on it again. And
Okay.
I can't keep going backwards because it takes too long. And the developers could do it, but I really want them to get this rebrand released. And if I put something else on them, it just puts them a couple days behind. So I'm going to manually do this myself. People are going to have to be patient. And I don't want to have to keep going back and rechecking. So the cutoff time, so it is 10, right? 7, it's almost 8, 9, 10. So 10 Eastern.
Correct.
Give me till 10:30, because once I get off the call, I'm gonna want to go make a pot of coffee. So by 10:30 p.m. Eastern, I'm cutting it off. I can't keep going backwards.
Okay. And that means cancel and already entered into the new hatchery, correct?
Well, you got some time on that, because I'll
Okay.
start with the first cancel and make my way to the last cancel.
Okay.
So if you're
But
just now canceling, you're not gonna have to worry about me until tomorrow morning.
okay.
But get in
Okay.
that hatchery really, as soon as you can. Don't let it go past probably 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning in case I miss you.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure everybody has complete clarity on what that process looks like. But after that, you might as well don't cancel. Go ahead and allow it to mature and get your miners. And then
Yep.
the new hatchery tier 4 will still be open and you can enter it in at that later time period. Because after tonight, if you cancel from the old hatchery, you will get your tokens back, but you won't get the miners. Is our understanding. So, okay, great.
Yep.
Let me see. Brandon, Hayden, did you guys have any questions or anything that you think Lynette can clear up for us or answer for us while we have her this evening?
Well, I definitely don't want to take nothing away from what she's already said.
Yeah.
I think that I mean, it's simple. If you are going to be holding your MQT anyway, then it only makes sense to put it in the hatchery, because you're going to be rewarded more than just the miners, but also in more of the MQT tokens. And you're thinking long term, the next 222 days, we're looking into September. So I would strongly encourage that if you have your MQT tokens, you definitely want to do that. Another thing is also the scarcity of these tokens. Lynette was talking about thinking big, thinking long term. One MQT token is going to be so valuable. So by the efforts that you're putting in right now and being able to see the benefits of the tokens that's being accumulated, by September is huge, because come September, how many MQTs do you think you're actually going to be mining a day, even if you're maximizing with 8 or 9 Titans? It's not going to be what it is right now, because we're going to have more people in the ecosystem. So having in the hatchery now, you're going to be thankful that you did that. It's going to come into play. So I just want to say thank you for that great job, Lynette. Somebody did ask me this question. I don't know if this was answered. Is the old hatchery, since it was limited, we had a bar up that showed how many MQT was in the hatchery. Will we also have a bar that shows how many MQT is currently in the new hatcheries, tiers 1 through 4 as well?
Yes, yep. I think they're just trying to get the stats done.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have nothing else to add on that. And thank you very much.
Okay. And before you go real quick, Hayden, just so everybody knows, they're going to put that status up, but there's no, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Lynette, I believe you said this earlier, there's no limit to the new hatchery. It'll just show how many has been put into the hatchery.
Are you talking about on the stats side?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I wanted to show how much MoveQuest is locked. I also wanted to show how many miners are being hatched. So if it's not showing those two stats, I'll ask them to do that because I think that's important for the community to know.
Okay,
I
perfect.
forgot to add Herschel too. We got tomorrow the next MoveQuest presentation for the international team is going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. I'll be doing that tomorrow on the on our normal time zone. So be ready for that.
Perfect.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And so before I say anything, I just want to give a statement of gratitude. You know, I think it's super important that we really, really uh, take a moment to just reflect and not take these update calls for granted. You know, thank you so much on behalf of the community, Lynette, for your contribution on a weekly basis, consistently sharing detailed information about this project. And you have such a university professor-like flow. It really makes it easy for you to sit back, relax, have a pen and paper, and jot down some notes. And then on top of that, Herschel, you're so diligent with posting these recordings immediately after they're done. You know, Brandon, again, once again, thank you for your contribution on a regular basis, week after week, presenting basic information about this project. It's super important that everyone listening here tonight plug into our social media outlets such as Facebook, such as X, such as the Discord channel. It's super important that you become members of some of these platforms and engage, post some of your testimonials or your experiences with MoveQuest. These are the little things that help people to see the project. And somebody out there is praying for a solution in their life, whether it be a health solution or a financial wealth solution. Both of those things will be met by simply engaging with this platform. And this could be a lifeline for somebody. It could be a lifeline for somebody in so many different ways. Beyond health, beyond wealth, sometimes people need a positive community to become a member of. And there's no better project that will positively impact your health and wealth like MoveQuest right now. So plug into Brandon's call tomorrow and look out for the information regarding the next XAMA. It'll likely be Sunday at 3 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time. For those of you in the Asia Pacific, that's 7 a.m. on Monday morning. So we look forward to having you join the party. It's going to be fun.
Have you guys been answering these questions in the Q&A?
I was trying to get through many of them as you were talking earlier. There are still some coming in now. Yes.
Because there's a few of them in here I want to answer real quick. Let me just kind of go through and let, you guys that don't want to hear the answers, they don't have to stay, but some of these are kind of important. Is there a max amount of miners that can go out into the community? There is not a max amount of miners that can go out into the community. I want to start with the new hatchery. You got to understand something. The more miners, the more people that are engaged in the ecosystem. The more people engaged in the ecosystem, the more liquidity, the higher the market values. We don't have a limit on them because we don't need to. I want to start the new hatchery, but I need to cancel. If I decide to cancel my old hatchery, do I still receive the vanguards? If you cancel the old hatchery, okay, so remember, in the old hatchery, if you wanted, what was it, a vanguard, I think you had to deposit $550 worth of MoveQuest or something like that. Okay, it takes less in the new hatchery. Okay, so it just has to be comparable to what you're getting in the minors. If you stake less, and okay, let's say you canceled and you were getting 6 vanguards, but you only staked in the new hatchery to get 5, you'll get 5. Okay, so it's not going to give you more. So you just got to make sure that whatever the as long as you're following what you're doing, only cancel what you know you're going to stake. But if you had it does take less MoveQuest, I think it was for the Vanguard, or more MoveQuest than what it required. You can see in the difference. Just you guys just use I'll know what I'm doing when I get in there and see calculation wise. So I do know that Vanguard's required more MoveQuest to be staked than what the Vanguards took more than what the Navigators took, just so. Do not cancel them. Wait till they hatch. Yeah, if you don't understand it, just wait till they hatch because you're not missing nothing. When will reserve to? I don't know. When the community size has increased enough, so there's a demand, or when we have enough locked up in the hatchery. It's all based on tokenomics, the size of the community, the demand for the token. So when the selling pressure slows down, when there's a demand for the token, the reserve tokens will go out. You can't send them out before there's a demand for them. We will open up the 9th mining dock slot again as the community increases in size, as well as the number of MoveQuests that are being distributed on a daily basis. So once we see that demand for the token, community size is growing, then we would increase the amount of MoveQuest that is going out every day, as long as the demand was there for it. Then we would add that 9th slot. Because right now, honestly, guys, if we added the 9th slot, all it's doing is kind of redistributing the same amount of tokens, and it really doesn't have any value to you except spending more money. You don't want to spend more money than you need to bring value to yourself. I mean, it would just, yeah, it would add more liquidity to it, but it's not going to make a difference to you. And then you're going to be disappointed because you should have just stuck with 8 miners because you're still mining the same amount. And so to me, it's just not, I mean, unless there's value in it for you, why make you spend money that you don't need to spend? Canceled 11 hours. So gee, my concern is that I canceled the Vanguards on my device. Okay. Some of the new tier 4, I was told it would be easy to track between wallets. Okay, so if you went from the old hatchery and you claimed them, and then you went and deposited that MoveQuest into a different wallet that you're mining with. I track all that stuff on the blockchain. I record everything when I'm doing something like this, so I'll be able to see where they went and if they ultimately made it into the hatchery. I don't care if it was in, wallet 1 and then you canceled it, but because you're mining in wallet 3, you need them in wallet 3. As long as they went from a wallet to a wallet and the end result was in tier 4 hatchery, you're good to go. I have everything on spreadsheets so that I don't make mistakes. If I do make a mistake, you guys let me know. We'll verify it. We'll get it taken care of. Okay, why are you mining only 1.3 MoveQuest per day? Well, you might be sleeping less. You might not get the same amount of workout time in as another person. You may not have the same attribute bonuses. You may not be walking 100 steps per minute and getting all your steps in tier 4. There are so many things that play into what your mining rewards are, and it's all based on your proof of physical activity. And everybody's miners are different. There's no 2 miners alike. Everybody's got different elements, different attributes, different mining bonuses. You're stepping more, you're stepping less. Some people sleep more, some people sleep less. And so the average is what I use, but that doesn't mean that that's what you're going to get. That's just the average of somebody who's mining at the max capacity. And basically, it averages out across everybody who's mining with Titan. So hopefully that explains it. I'm not going to go into the leasing right now, but I will when we get closer to it because we're already going over tonight. Why? When we'll hit 1,500, I can tell you how many people it takes to increase in our community that are engaged in the ecosystem. And that's for another call. It doesn't take long. I can tell you that. Spreadsheet. And I didn't increase the submission fees. That's what I wanted to talk about on this spreadsheet because there's so many things that play into what those submission fees increase to as the market value goes up. If the community is growing considerably, those fees don't really go up that much. But if the fees are going up in the community, if there's like a deficit from the daily tokens going out, based on submission fees and it's, worlds apart from each other, then they would go up higher than if the community was, large and in charge and, have a 500,000 people in here submitting. It doesn't need to go up. Probably could stay right around where it's at. So I didn't put that in here because it's just going to confuse people. And I don't like giving away my algorithms, just because it's kind of proprietary to us, but it is a floating system and there's so many things that it's based on. Dana, we have customer support open if you need to understand the hatchery tomorrow, or whoever shared MoveQuest with you, just try to connect with somebody that will help you. And Dustin, I hope I seen your question. I can't remember because I'm not really looking at names. You guys were going to clarify about the reserves. Okay, I just did that. For the hatchery due date, yes. You guys, you don't need to cancel if you're not going into the tier 4. The hatchery, that's the one that's been up and running, it's going to run until everybody's time expires. And then once the last person's time expires and the miners are claimed, that contract will be retired. But until then, it's totally operational. You just can't add any more MoveQuest to that contract. The reserve tokens are not all in the hatchery. It is 625 MoveQuest tokens right now per day based on what's in circulation. We can go as high as 2,500 a day. And right now we haven't even reached the 625 a day. So it's based on the amount of tokens that could be in the hatchery, and there's plenty there to cover everybody. We barely have tokens in circulation, to be honest with you. Those of you who canceled 52 hours or 48 hours or 36 hours ago, nobody's gotten the miners. You will get them. 10 per card. Okay, there's 100 per card now. So you can actually claim 100 miners per card. We did it at 10 because we were afraid that it might time out before you got your miners, or that the gas fees maybe weren't optimized right where they should be. But after we tested for a few hours and seeing what people were able to claim, and there were no issues, and we increased that to 100. So now you can go and you can fill one card with 100 100 vanguards or navigators or whatever it is you want, and you can deposit and just have the one card going. Does the board need to be docked? Does the tier 4 mine? Okay, so the miners that you're getting out of the tier 4 do not have to be docked. We don't even care about those miners as far as the rewards go. You're getting those miners so you can start mining, or you're getting those miners so you can lease them, or whatever it is you're going to do with them. All we care about is that you are mining. Doesn't matter what miners you're mining with, whether they come from the tier 4 hatchery or whether you already had them. It's just that you have to submit, and you need to stake with the wallet that you are mining with, or one of the wallets that you're mining with. If you messed up, and let's say you put your MoveQuest in using a wallet you're not mining with, you would need to undock your miners, unlock the new mining deck in the wallet you are in the hatchery with, redock your miners, and start mining in that wallet. There's nothing we can do on our end to help you with that one. Will there be a day when navigators won't be able to be minted? Nope, they'll always be able to be minted. I am trying. In fact, they'll begin to go up once I was already supposed to actually lock the MoveQuest, but we haven't at the 100 to 150,000 mark. Those were supposed to lock. The MoveQuest was, so that the navigators would actually be more expensive. So they will start to be based on, once those lock, on a MoveQuest amount, not the MoveQuest dollar value. So eventually all of this gets more expensive, and then people will be leasing them from you until they can go and afford to mint them themselves. So and that creates that demand for those miners. It drives the value of those miners up. Those are digital assets as well. Those are NFTs. Those are tokens that have been recorded to the blockchain when they were minted. I will give this to the core team. They'll get it in there to Discord. I hardly ever get in Discord. Each old hatchery one at a time. Yep, you have to cancel them one at a time. And I'm not looking at each cancel. I'm looking at the wallet. So if you have 100 cards, for example, and you have to do all those separate. You don't have to create 100 cards. I just need to see the wallet, okay, that it matches, so I know where to send the miners to. We were using a different wallet to Hatchery mine. Okay, I just answered that. Will there be a demand for all the miners available to lease? Well, not day one, I'm sure, but we're definitely working on it, Charlie. We are working with companies and organizations and other projects and influencers, and I'm of the belief that we won't have enough miners to meet the demand for the leasing. Is that going to happen on day one? Absolutely not. Guarantee it 5,000%. But is it going to happen? 100%. What would you rather do, Charlie? Would you rather spend $6,400 on miners today, or would you rather spend a couple dollars and lease them until you had enough money to be able to afford it? So those people who have the money, they can afford to do it. They're able to come right in, mint those miners or go into the hatchery. It's a great way to get started right now. Those are your digital assets, you own them, but it breaks down that barrier of entry. So for people who can't afford this, who would love to get involved in this project, they can come down and use those miners. They can lease them. Almost, it costs them nothing almost. The lease fee, the submission, and the claims. And then they can start to earn and be able to upgrade to where they now own their own miners and they have their own digital real estate. I never want to make this project so that only people who have money can be involved in the project because it does keep getting more and more and more expensive. But the leasing allows us to let everybody get involved in this project. So do I think there'll be a demand for them? 1,000%. We are working on all kinds of marketing materials. We have an amazing designer. He's getting the banners and ad type stuff that people can use. We have all kinds of videos that we're working on, all the documentation. It's going to be pretty much everything at your fingertips that you're going to need. There is absolutely no possible way to get the reserve MoveQuest. It's economic wise, size of community, market value of the token, selling behavior, lack of demand, oversupply. It would be an absolutely horrible thing to do to the community. It just no, we can't. I'm sorry. There's certain criteria that has to be met. Size of the community, X amount of tokens that are, not going to be sold, that are in the hatcheries, or $10 million in the liquidity pool to be able to justify those MoveQuest tokens going into circulation. I can't make concessions because this is that, like I said, it's a self-funding ecosystem. It has to be stable. There's algorithm, there's smart contracts that operate it. I can't deviate away from it because it kind of would destabilize the ecosystem. We've got almost 4 years into development of this project, and I protect it like you've never seen me protect anything before in my life. Good for 1.3 on that. Thank you too. Submissions. Okay, I think I got everything right. I don't see anything else
Great
I
job.
haven't already answered.
That was like a round of speed dating. So you did a good job on that. Uh, all right. I believe so. I was just kind of going through myself and looking.
Okay, so yeah, I got this last one here from Lori Masters. I just want to read something here. You told us we would no longer be able to mint in the hatchery. So I minted 8 navigators, assuming we would then be able to evolve them in the new hatchery. Okay, one, I never said. I said that we may not allow the navigators in the hatchery. I never said we were going to get rid of that forever and ever. I said that was a possibility that we were considering that so that people would um, mint those. But honestly, there's no reason why they can't do it through the hatchery. I did say I was looking at that as far as the ecosystem goes, but it doesn't have any havoc on the ecosystem whatsoever. So we're not removing the navigators from the hatcheries. The Titans will never be in there. Now, if you have the 8 navigators, those will be great to lease. Okay. And every miner's got value. and you only paid $3 for it. So it's not like it's, you know what I mean? You got all your MoveQuest back and it was a $3 fee. So it's not like it was, you know, $400. Not saying that it's not money. 8 times 4 is what? Again, I need a calculator. 16, 16, 32. So it's $32 and you can make that back real quick from the leasing. So I don't see that being a problem. People seem to struggle with swapping. Yeah, okay. I I swap right in MetaMask. That seems to be the easiest way to do it if you're using MetaMask. Um, but come into customer support if people are having trouble with it, and we can help you in there. You can also go to YouTube, and there's a lot of information there. Discord, if you're in Discord, they'll help you. Anyone want to lease navigators? Is part of any MoveQuest saving involved? Is part of any MoveQuest saving in the vault as we are mining nowadays? Don't understand that question. Is part of any MoveQuest saving in vault? All the MoveQuest that's not in circulation is in the vault, including the evolution uh MoveQuest. Everything stays in that vault contract to protect it. And Lori, I wasn't trying to laugh at you. But when people like, will anyone want to lease navigators? You did, didn't you? You minted them. There's a lot of people mining with navigators, so that's the answer to your question. We have over 5,700 navigators in the mining docks right now, leasing, or not leasing, but mining every single day. So yes, there's a demand for the navigators. You're going to charge less to lease a navigator than you are to lease a Titan or to lease a Vanguard. And there's still going to be people that can't afford to lease the Vanguards or the Titans. It's all economics. It's all about what people can afford. It's what what they can budget into their uh expenses, I guess. So I mean it's an ecosystem. So yeah. I mean I buy off-branded, potato chips. Doesn't mean I don't like Ruffles more, but I'm not gonna pay $10 for a bag of Ruffles when I can get the same thing over here for a little less. You know what I'm saying? It's just what people can afford to do. That was a really stupid analogy, but you get my point. Does the old hatchery release on their own? Nope. When the time is up, you have to claim them. Do you think the current price is a reflection of people claiming from the old hatchery and just, no, not really. I don't. This is just typical people selling their MoveQuest. Some people are, I'm sure they are, but no, overall, no. There's more been sold than is actually in the Tier 4 hatchery. You can send your miners anywhere you want to. We don't care. Once they're yours and in your wallet, they're outside of that contract, and you do whatever you want to do with them. We do not care where they go. They're yours. You can give them away, sell them, trade them, do whatever you want. If you know people that want them and you want to give them to them to use, you can transfer it wherever you want to. You can transfer it into any account you want. They're yours to do with what you want. Okay, I'm really done now.
All right, Miss Lynette, we definitely.
Oh, I wasn't able to claim. Make sure you got AVAX in your wallet, because if you don't, you got, it records to the blockchain that you claimed those tokens and that you claimed that miner. Just make sure you do. I don't know. I already went over that. Okay, back to you, Herschel.
All right, Ms. Lynette. Well, once again, we'd like to thank you for your time this evening and sharing all this wonderful information with us and the updates. And we will see you next time. Not sure, do we have, I know we'll be back next Tuesday, same time, same station. And we will let everybody in the community know if they're outside of Brandon's presentation tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll let everybody know if there are any further updates or calls that are going to take place before the end of this week. Outside of that, once again, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time.